What time is it?
Talk the real with a certified yapper. Conversations about the latest and the greatest in the world. We can talk about that man, or you can tell me about old girl. Got a secret, hey, don't lay it on me. You need a friend, I'll be your big homie. Let's take a sip and talk it out. Therapy without the couch. On the rocks is what you need. Come toast reality with me, hey. Now tuned in to Rhonda on the Rocks.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Rhonda on the Rocks podcast. I am happy to be back. It is season 3, and we're diving deeper this season. So, if you know what I've talked about in the past, love, relationships, all of that crazy stuff. Now we're digging into some more life lessons, some more life things. And so I am here today with my niece and my nephew, which is crazy because he's but he's my nephew. He's married to this crazy woman here. But I'm really happy to have them here with me today. And we're gonna talk good. You guys ready? Okay. Well, first of all, I am drinking diluted green tea and water because I am severely dehydrated because I don't have the sense God gave me, and I've been drinking for like the last month. So now I have to rehydrate all of my organs. What about you?
I have a pineapple margarita.
Pineapple margarita, okay. And you?
Got that Henny.
Henny. Anything is possible. And we're going to talk about anything tonight, okay? So, really, really happy to have you guys here. It's a pleasure to have you not only in my home, but on my podcast. Desiree, this is my niece Desiree, her husband, Dijon. Desiree and I grew up together. I am 37, you're 35. Mm-hmm. So I was 2 years old when she was born. And at some points in life, I was her boss. And at some points in life, she was my boss. Not as much as I was her boss. Because, 2 years older, I'm the big dog.
That's what she'd like to think.
Well, yeah, that's what I would like to think. But I'm just so proud of the woman that you've become. I'm going to say that publicly. She's a great mom to my great nephews, Nehemiah and Nat. And then Dijon came along and he just fit right in. You know, Desiree hasn't always made the best dating choices. But when she picked Dijon, we were like, okay, you got it right. Trial and error. No, just kidding. But the first segment that we're going to jump into is the weekend rundown. This past weekend, I really just was super, super busy with like family things and friend things. I was out of town a couple weekends ago, so this past weekend was just kind of like me catching up with all of my friends. Of course, summertime shy is upon us, so we're constantly doing things. There's a festival here, there's a picnic there. I am a Sigma Gamma Rho, so I did go to the MPHC picnic here in Chicago, and it's the same Greeks that you always see out, nothing spectacular. My best friend and I went, and we just hung out with the Greeks on Sunday, and then I tried to like rest because, work on Monday. But other than that, I didn't do a whole lot. What about you guys? What did your weekend entail?
We went to his sister's wedding.
Okay.
That was fun. A lot of family stuff. Rehearsal dinners, wedding brunch.
Ooh.
At the zoo.
Went to the Omaha Zoo.
Okay.
About 2 hours away.
Nice.
Went to go see her grandfather as well in Mason City.
Okay.
Got to see him again.
Nice.
Very funny guy. I like Grandpa Foster.
Yeah. So that's cool. You guys got to go around and see a lot of family. I love that. We haven't had On my dad's side of the family, we used to have family reunions every other year. But we were due to have one in 2020. We all know why we didn't have one. And it's just been really hard to try to get family back together, having not had a family reunion since 2018. And so that's a little sad. We were supposed to have one this summer, but not enough. We couldn't get enough people to like pay and like say that they were coming, so we had to cancel again. We tried to do it in 2023, and it's just stressful. So I'm glad that you guys had an opportunity to have like a little mini family reunion going around Iowa and the area and see your side of the family and Dijon's side of the family. So
It was
that's
nice
cool.
to come back.
What'd you say?
It was nice to come back. We moved away, so
Yeah, you guys moved to South Carolina, so you're not surrounded by the majority of your family, especially you, because your parents are still.
My parents are still in.
Yeah, your parents are still in Iowa, so that's cool. You guys got to see your family. Cohen Williams, let's get it together. We need a family reunion ASAP. Like, get your shit together, okay? All right. So the next segment that we are going to jump into is called Love Bites.
I'm mad. I have to go to work. I have to earn a living. I'd rather have a private income and get laid well and often.
So this is where I am going to kind of sit back and not do as much of the talking, but I'm going to listen and learn from these two. They're drinking because they're nervous. All you hear is everybody's sipping now. But so your relationship dynamic is not typical, right? So Desiree, you came into the marriage single, no kids. Dijon, you came into the marriage having been previously married and with children already. Yep. So I would love to hear from you, Desiree, what that was like for you, going like dating someone who already had not only been married before, but also already had children as well, because those were two things that, from what I know of you, you desired, but you hadn't experienced. And then Dijon, I would love for you to talk about like dating after divorce. Like, what was did you have like nerves or apprehensions? Were there certain things where you were like, nope, if she don't have this, this, and this because I've done this before, then I'm not into it. So we just start with you, project your voice so that the microphone can pick you up.
So initially it didn't bother me at all because we were just kind of hanging out. I didn't really put too much thought into it. When we got a little bit more serious, I was kind of nervous and apprehensive. I was more nervous to meet the kids than, I guess I didn't really think about having to co-parent with their mom until it actually came about. Mm-hmm. But we took a premarital class, a year and a half before we got married?
Yeah.
Best thing we've ever done for our relationship. So they had an extra week for blended families. Mm. And they give you questions to discuss privately at home with each other. And that helped a lot because it kind of gave me an idea of what he expected from me as far as my participation in co-parenting, what he expected from me as far as interacting with his children, and like what he wanted our relationship to be. So that helped a lot.
Yeah.
It was new territory for me, so I didn't know what was expected of me,
Yeah. That is actually very, very interesting and something to think about. Like, I've dated guys with kids. Have I dated? Yeah, I've dated guys who've been I've dated everywhere. Their wife dead, they divorced, they got grown kids, little kids, infants, all of them. Like, I've dated them all. But you don't really think about how your partner wants you to show up in the co-parenting situation. I'm because I love kids and I'm an educator and all of that, I just kind of like rush in, which I think has been to my detriment in the past because I get really, really attached to those children. And when the relationship doesn't work out and I have to sever ties with the kids, I have a hard time with that. And in past relationships, the children have had a hard time with that, where I've had to be the one that's like, actually, like, we'll always love each other, I guess, but we can't engage because I don't fuck with your daddy at all. If I see that nigga, it's 2 shots to the back of the head. Like, I don't want to see that nigga. So that's really good. I'm glad that you were able to like learn from someone and talk to Dijon and have those conversations, because I think that's super important when you're going into a marriage. So what was it like like meeting the kids, because his kids are not like little kids, like they were, well,
that's
older.
Another thing that I felt like we really did right. We kind of made sure that we really liked each other before it was a while before, probably like, I don't know, several months before that we were hanging out before I ever actually met his kids. First time I met his daughter, she was a little bit older. She was, 14?
I think so.
Yeah,
14,
she was a teenager.
Yeah, 13 or 14.
I was nervous. It was a little bit awkward at first. Dijon definitely had to like guide the conversation. I'm not an educator. I do not work with children. I didn't know what to talk to her about. So, but after, I don't know, we went out to dinner. I think was the first thing that we did together, wasn't it? And so, yeah, he kind of guided that conversation. But eventually, you calmed down a little bit, relaxed, and it was a little bit easier.
Yeah. Okay. Did you ever run into the situation where it's like, you're not my mom, you can't tell me what to do? Sometimes these teenage girls are sassy. And I mean, I know you love your stepdaughter. I think she's, y'all get along well from what I can tell. But was there ever an instance where it was like, you're not my mom? You're like, you're not my daughter.
She never like said it in words, but like there would be times like, oh, she just kind of flat out ignored what I said. But again, that premarital class really helped us because we had already discussed like, what do we do in terms of if I feel like she's being disrespectful and she needs discipline? So I kind of would just leave it up to him and be like, hey, I asked her to do this. She flat out ignored me, or she kind of half-assed did it. So what are you going to do about it? And I mean,
did you ever feel torn in those situations, Dijon, where it's like, I mean, this is my daughter. Technically, she was here before you, but this is my girlfriend, my fiance, my wife. Like,
I don't think I really felt torn. I came at it from the perspective of having a functional household.
Yeah.
So, my parents, they've been married 41, 42 years. So I've always seen like discipline in the household and functional household. So my thing was, there's not going to be disrespect in the house.
Right.
So she needs to do what she's told. I know it's not nothing crazy. So she needs to respect, Desi. And we need to run a functional household.
Yeah, for sure. So you've been married, got divorced, things didn't work out. You see this sexy young woman walking down the aisle of the church to commit her life to Christ. I don't know that's how it happened. But I know you guys met in church.
Yeah.
Okay. So y'all met in church. Desiree was going down to, give her life to Christ.
No, that's not what happened.
Deep in sin. And
I seen her sitting in the back, actually. I was like, oh, who's that?
Right. Way in the back, not paying attention.
Oh,
No, just kidding. So you guys meet in church, and what was that like? What did Desiree initiate the conversation? Because I remember, I remember Desiree being like, "There's this guy, he's a drummer. He goes to my church."
You want the real story?
Yeah, let's. I want to hear both sides.
So I was afraid of rejection, so I'm like, let me make sure he's interested first. And me and my friends had a fake account that we used to use on social media.
Period.
So I messaged him through that first because there was also this girl, and so he was a drummer in the choir or whatever, and there was this girl that I was like, maybe they aren't together, I'm not really sure. So I messaged him on there pretending to be someone else, and he was not fooled. One moment, he's like, yeah, I know who you are. You sit in the back with all the kids. I used to take my cousin's kids. He's like, you're going with all the kids, and I'm like, well, I don't have any kids, but that might be me. I don't know.
Is that how the story went?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I know. I was like, you sit with two other girls and y'all have kids with y'all. I was like, but I like your light skinned friend. I said something like that.
Because I was pretending to be. The fake account was a different girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, so you got the friend that's light skinned, right? And she was like, no, that's not who we are. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it is.
I was like, sir, I was in the army. I can figure some shit out. Y'all not fooling me. That's so funny. And how many years ago was that?
2013. But we didn't start dating until years after that. But the initial conversation was in 2013.
Okay. And so you see this fine young woman sitting in the back and you thought she had all of these children. Thank God that she didn't. And so who made the first like move? Okay, we did the internet thing. You like, okay, I like her. I don't know, you know.
I feel like we started messaging each other, and then it was just like kind of mutual thing.
Okay.
Because that wasn't obvious. I went from the fake account and then messaged him from my real account.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're like, oh, shocker. Can't believe it's you. I had no idea.
It was just like a mutual agreement to go on a date.
Okay.
Get to know each other. So funny thing is, I was a broke nigga when she first met me, just coming out the divorce and everything.
Yeah.
So our first date, my car actually wouldn't start. I had a straight up hoopty. Dust bucket. And so I texted her. I was like, hey, my car ain't working. Like, we're going to have to reschedule. I was embarrassed. I'm not even going to lie. You know? And she was like, no, I'll just go pick you up with my car. I was like, oh, okay.
Which is funny because I would always tell my friends, you don't want somebody you got to pick up. What kind of is that?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we went on our first date. It was a good date. We hit it off. And as time progressed, we got, more serious. But I was very apprehensive.
Okay.
Because, when you come out of a marriage, you learn to, you try to be vulnerable with somebody and you're trying to learn that person, and then that all goes away. And so I was just like, maybe I don't need to get married. I need to open myself up to somebody like that. Or do I even want to get to know somebody like that again, intimately? And not just sexually, but physically, emotionally,
financially, all of that. Like you're talking about blending your life with another person again after it didn't work out the first time. That's
right. So it's just like, I really want to open myself up to that all over again.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, I got 2 kids, and I don't really want to just have my kids around a bunch of random women. So I was very particular about who met my kids.
For sure.
So I guarded, children for a while before I, would introduce any woman. But honestly, Desi's the only one that met my kids.
Okay, girl. Get that. Secure the bag. That's what's up. So what made you, like, what was the moment where you were like, okay, I can not let my guard completely down, but I can crack it a little bit and at least be like, okay, let me see how she interacts with my kids.
Just getting comfortable.
Yeah.
And I actually allowed myself to open up to somebody like that, just a little bit. So I introduced my kids, I was like, she's a pretty sincere person. She's genuine.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can't hide her forever.
That's true.
So I was like, well, I'm going to just at least introduce her.
Yeah.
See how the interaction is, and if she don't get along with the kids though, because I'm not gonna have. I didn't want to, like I said, I didn't want dysfunction.
Yeah.
Or a bunch of malice or anger in the house. So, that was my big thing. Like, if they can't get along with my kids, this just ain't gonna work.
For sure.
It's nothing personal. It's just I don't want to expose my kids to that. I don't want to have to be in the middle of that trying to mediate. So yeah, but she got along great with the kids.
Good. I think I feel similar. I think it kind of resonates with me when you talk about like being vulnerable again, like opening yourself up to someone again. Because I can imagine, I've never been married or divorced, but I can imagine the emotional like toll that's taken on you. And like I said, I've dated niggas across the fucking board. So I've dated men who have been divorced, and I would say those are the men that are the most emotionally unavailable. It's hard to have expectations when you're dating someone who's been recently divorced. And sometimes the guys that I've dated, and it's only been, I think, 2 that I've dated that have been divorced. My question in the end was always like, did you just want to fuck, or were you like actually ready to date? Because there's a clear delineation between the two. And we could have did one and not the other. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't have to do all this. Why we got feelings in this? Like, let's just do what we need to do and keep it moving. But I think, like, sometimes, at least the guys in my experience, they were craving that companionship again because that's what they were so used to. But they didn't want the commitment. They just wanted the companionship. And I'm like, I don't want to be your companion. Like, I don't want to just travel with you and all of this. Like, I'm eventually going to have feelings. And then, God forbid, you bring your kids around me. Now we're family. Like, we are a family, we are a unit, and we just have different last names. Yeah. And I would find myself getting caught up in all of the emotions and thinking, like, making myself believe that the companionship was actually commitment, and it was not. And that kind of letdown was hard. So, did you have, like, apprehension, Desiree, about, like, okay, this man has been married before? You know, did you ever feel like, where am I going to fit in? Like, did you feel insecure or any of that?
In the beginning, no. I mean, we started out as friends with benefits. Let's just be honest.
Okay.
I wasn't really.
Right. So yeah. So we either commit or we fucking, yo. Okay, now we getting it. We warming up. The margarita is warming her up. Okay, here we go.
We're not. Those things just weren't crossing my mind.
Yeah.
But as I started to get feelings, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
more and more I would think about it, and I'm like, okay, so, like, do you really want to take this, I'm going to call it the mommy role, but, like, you know, be that second maternal figure? Are you really ready for that? Do I feel like he's really ready? My insecurities were more like, is he ever going to want something more than, like, just us hanging out?
Yeah.
But, I mean, I feel like it took us a little bit to get there.
Mm-hmm.
We were both pretty content where we were for a while.
Yeah, and I know there were benefits to the friendship, but at least there was work done to establish some sort of friendship. Yeah. Because you can be fucking somebody that you're not even cool with. You just like, what time and where? Okay, are you going to be on time? Okay, very good. Like, and everybody does what they need to do. And I mean, we're grown. That's sometimes what it is. It's very transactional. Yeah. But you guys were, like, working to develop a friendship. So that's beautiful. So fast forward, Dijon is like, I just can't live without you. Will you be Mrs. Williams? And you're like, oh my God, I thought you'd never ask. Because I'm sure that's how it went. Yeah, exactly. So you guys get married, and for you, Desiree, was it one, because you've been married how long now? Like 5 years? 6 years?
Almost 7. It was 7.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right, because me and Molly's 5. Okay. So you're married 6 years. 6 years later, do you feel like marriage is what you thought it would be? And I'm going to ask you the same thing.
So I feel like I kind of went into it with not a lot of expectation. My parents have been separated for as long as I can remember. Mm-hmm. I don't really know. I mean, granddaddy and nan were probably the only healthy marriage I ever really saw. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, I was only here in the summertime. So I kind of went into it with rose-colored glasses. And I was just like, everything's going to be... I don't really know what I thought, to be quite honest. I was just so excited to get the last name. That's how
like, I'm a Williams now.
Yes, it was definitely a transition for me, though, because I'm an only child. Mm-hmm. So I went from, it was just me and my mom growing up. I had my own apartment for 4 or 5 years, just me. And then now I'm living with 3 other people in my space. So that was difficult for me.
Yeah.
That was hard. So I don't think that was what I expected. That was kind of like mind blown. There's just people always in my space. People, as petty as it sounds, moving my things, or just like, that's not how I like it. Yeah. So it was the first year, I would say, was a big adjustment period for me. Just learning to share. I don't know. If you're an only child, you get it. You just I've never lived with anybody besides my mom, and we really, once I was a teenager, we really stayed in our corners. So that was probably the biggest transition for me. Yeah, I'm not an only child, but I've always, outside of like college, outside of my parents' house, I've always lived alone.
But when I was dating my ex, he lived here, and it was somewhat of a transition for me, but I think partially because it was COVID and everybody just wanted to be with someone and not alone. I don't think like the transition was a lot smoother because it was like, well, I just want you to be here. But looking back, I'm like, I don't ever want to live with anyone ever again. I want to get married, but do we have to live in the same house is a question. Do we have to sleep in the same bed? Like, the thought of like someone being in my space all the time again is like, mm-mm. So Dijon, you were like, oh my God, Desiree, I cannot live without you. Will you please take my last name? And she was like, I guess. Sure. How was it for you? Like, okay, now I'm entering into marriage again. Like, what were your, like, was it what you were expected? Did you have, like, I guess, rules about how you were going to do marriage the second time around?
I don't think I really had rules.
Okay.
I didn't really know what to expect, to be honest.
Blind leading the blind. Okay?
You know, like I said before, like my parents been together all my life, so I mean, I've seen.
Yeah.
You know,
So you've seen healthy marriage. You have not. You've been married and you have not.
Yeah, and you know, previously there was some immaturity. If I'm gonna be honest on my part, prior to me getting divorced.
Okay.
So it was kind of nerve-wracking getting married again because sometimes I was like, well, am I mature enough emotionally for this?
Okay.
You know, to make sure this is a healthy marriage. The first year was challenging. She says, you know, people moving stuff around. You know, with me, it was just living with somebody all over again because I was very like, she'll tell you when we were dating, I was very anal retentive about everything. Like my closet had to look a certain way, kitchen had to look a certain way. Better not be this, and this out. Like so, it was learning to make compromises with things and kind of figuring out what works best for our household. I never, until like really 2-3 years ago maybe, I never realized how much work you really put into getting to know somebody when you get married. But this time around, I like really kind of sat back and I thought about it. I was like, man, you really do got to put a lot of effort in to have a healthy marriage, or else it's just not going to work. Because intrinsically, we're all selfish.
Oh yeah,
we all look out for our own interests at the end of the day, and we all want things our way. That's just human nature. So it's making the conscious effort to be considerate of others.
Oh, I think that's where I will struggle. Honest to God, like once you've been single for so long, especially at this age, like I'm 37, I'll be 38 at the end of the year. Like I feel like can't nobody tell me shit. Like you can't tell me nothing about Golden Grove for sure. You can't tell me nothing about Power. You can't tell me about nothing about Rhonda on the Rocks. Like that's my shit. I don't want you in it. But I don't think that that's the right mindset to have. I would have to do some type of like get some help, some just like individual counseling. Now that I mean, just listening to you guys talking, like all the intricacies, and you haven't even really shared like too many nuanced things, but just the thought of like, as much as I say that I would like to be in a relationship again, I want to be married. I would be so worried that the other person wouldn't want to put in the work that I feel like I would draw back. And I think that's where I struggle in relationships now because I'm like, okay, you took one step, I'm taking one step. I'm not taking 1.5 because last time I took 1.5, he took 10 backwards. And then I was out here. So just trying to get over those things. So you guys got married and then you brought the most beautiful child into this world.
He is quite handsome.
He is very handsome. So now your bonus kids are here, and now you brought their brother into the world, and he is neurodiverse.
Yes.
So how has that, or has it impacted your relationship? Has it brought you guys closer? Has it made you learn how to work together better, or what would you say in there? I'll get to you, DJ.
I feel like doing it with him makes me a better mom for my son. I'm a very anxiety-ridden person. I'm a very worrisome person. So my first instinct is to shelter and to just keep him safe and keep him away from everything. And whereas Dijon is more like, no, he needs to be allowed to live. He needs to be allowed to learn to be independent and learn these things. And I don't know how well I would do that without him, because I really just want to keep him close and keep him safe. I want to be that mama bear, and that's something that I really struggle with as being his mom. And so I kind of feel like it makes us stronger. I mean, it definitely makes us have to work harder, I would say.
In terms of like spending time together, or just like,
in terms of keeping our marriage good, because it is very time consuming having a neurodivergent child, and then it's very emotionally draining, and so you're pouring all this into your child, and then now I need to still pour in love and everything into him, and I mean it's work.
Yeah,
it's work
for sure. What about you, DJ? What do you think?
Well, it's definitely it's challenging.
Yeah.
The older two I had previously before we were married. They're not on.
They're neurotypical.
Yeah, neurotypical. So, by early age, they just picked it up. Hey, get right.
Or get left.
Get left. Get right or get hurt.
Yeah.
Like, I don't abuse my kids.
Yeah,
no, nobody report me.
No, Rhonda on the Rocks podcast does not promote child abuse. You need to kick your kid's ass. Do what you gotta do.
So, even to this day, like, if I tell them something, they might be mad, the older two, but they ain't gonna do it.
Yeah, for sure.
With him, he doesn't get it all the time. While he can communicate certain, he understands certain things, and he does communicate, but it's in a different way.
Yeah.
I realize I can't discipline him like I did the older two, or even the baby boy.
Right.
So for me, it's figuring out how to effectively discipline him, but making sure he'll be able to be independent. That's my biggest thing. I don't, and if he needs to, of course, we'll always take care of him.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't want that for him. I don't think if he's an adult, he's going to start wondering, well, why can't I just be out on my own? So I really, that's one of the reasons why I always tell her, because she wants to always protect him. Like, I get it, I do too, but he has to learn to be independent and to fend for himself as much as possible.
For sure.
Because let's just be real. People are assholes.
Yes, they are.
They're not going to, once he gets to be an adult, they're not going to care if he's, neurodivergent or not. They're going to be an asshole to him regardless. So he needs to know how to stand up for himself and navigate life. So that's the perspective I come from as far as it pertains to him. I do feel like we are forced to communicate more because of that, because he has a lot of appointments, a lot going on at school. So it does make us talk a little bit more. When she goes to work, she's always calling and asking how he's doing.
Send me pictures.
How's his day? How's he been today? Then it forces us to try to work together to be intentional about spending time alone. Yeah. It is difficult.
I'm sure.
And some days, you're just worn out at the end of the day. Especially when he has like meltdowns. You're like, the day's over, you're like, I'm going to sleep.
Yeah.
I don't really want to talk. And she, she works at night. So sometimes she'll call me, she'll just want to talk because she got like 30 free minutes, and I'm just like,
you're like, girl, hush.
I just want to sit here, throw on pointless TV, and go to sleep.
Yeah, I feel that.
So, but I think it does help us out to communicate.
Yeah.
More, so.
Yeah, and I think, of course, I'm on the outside looking in. I don't even live in South Carolina, but I really do admire, when I am around you guys, I do admire how you work together. And now you have a new little baby. Well, he's not new. He's grown. He's 25 years old. Literally, he's beat my ass the last 2 days with his little fist. And I love it because I don't get to see him often. But then Nat comes in the world and it's like, okay, now we have the two older kids who are, doing their own thing in college and whatnot. And now we have Nehemiah, who is neurodivergent. Did I say that right? Neurodivergent. And then we have Nat, who comes along, who is very young, wild, and free 2-year-old. And so do you feel like having a child that is neurodivergent and then having a child that is neurotypical, like, how do you balance that?
So, Nehemiah was diagnosed while I was pregnant, and my initial thought was, how am I going to give both these children, everything that they need, especially because he needs so much. But Nathaniel came out, and he's like, don't worry about it, Mom, I'm going to make sure. Like, he's going to get his attention. He's going to make sure his presence is known. And he also, I feel like he's the best thing that ever happened to his big brother, because he's one of the first. So one of the big milestones for your neurodivergent children is like having those back and forth interactions and learning how to play. And Nat, that's who he plays with the best. And Nat adjusts so well to playing how he wants to play. And he tries to help his brother. He tries to boss his brother. He's just, I don't know. He's just what we needed.
Yeah.
I agree. Nathaniel.
Yes, he is.
They play together well. And like she said, he caters to him a lot. He plays how he wants to play, but then he tries to make Nehemiah play how he wants to play. And Nehemiah does a lot of times. So it helps them both. They like watching like the Gracie's Corners and
we love Gracie. Gracie is a pop queen
and everything.
Yeah.
And so they, I feel like they help each other out. I feel like Nehemiah makes Nathaniel tough because he's gonna fight him.
Yeah.
They're gonna fight each other at least once a day.
Yeah.
So he makes him tough, and Nathaniel looks out for him. And, I feel like he's helping him. And that's why we're starting to see some progress with Nehemiah.
Yeah.
It's because of the interaction that they have together. So
that's so cool. So cool. So how was it explaining or like introducing your older children to a sibling who is neurodivergent? Was that like a challenge at all? Or did they just kind of like, okay, like...
I don't feel like they really did. I feel like they, listened to what we said, and they understand. They try to be considerate of Nehemiah, and they play with them too. And, they try to stop him from getting in trouble. They look out for him. So,
and our daughter has other family members who are on the spectrum as well. So it wasn't her first rodeo. So she had some experience with it. So I feel like it's a little bit easier for her. And I feel like DJ had some questions, but him and his dad talked about it. Sure, he answered them the best he could, so it helps.
Yeah, they play. When DJ comes, they're like, DJ. They hang out with him.
Yeah.
They see Tay. They don't see her a lot.
Yeah.
So it takes them about a day and a half to warm up, and
then they're good.
Yeah.
It took Matt about 20 minutes to warm up to me, and after I let him beat me up for a while, he's like,
"I need your food."
Yeah, well, yes, he has to. You have to give them snacks and all of that, and they're your best friends. So both of you, I guess, know a little bit. I don't know how much you know about my past relationship, Dijon. I feel like I've told you a little bit more about my past and just my dating experience overall, which hasn't been great. Which is why I don't fuck with Scorpios. Or Aries at this
take
point.
Offense to that.
Or Aries at this point. But what advice would you give someone from what you know about me? Well, we'll just use me. I ain't gonna say someone. What advice would you give me when it comes to like dating and all of that? So let me say this. I do desire to be married someday. Hard stop. Right now I'm on tour. I'm doing my thug thism. But someday I do desire to like be a wife, be a mom, all of those things. What advice would you give me as someone who is, this was my baby and now you're telling me what to do, which is crazy. What advice would you give me? And then I'd love to hear your perspective, John.
I feel like the best thing we ever did for our relationship was our premarital counseling course. I don't know if all of them are that good, but it was like, what was it, 12 weeks?
I don't remember.
And then they had a new topic every week, and they sent you home with, and it was like different, really deep questions to sit and talk about. And I mean, we talked about everything from blending our family to finances to everything in the future. What is your career goals? Where do you want to stay here? Do you want to move? Like, it just, I mean, it forced you to have some really hard conversations to the point where, I mean, we took that class and then we waited a year to get married. So I just feel like putting yourself in a position where you have to really talk about the hard thing and not just like on a surface level.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you need to really talk about these things and really decide, okay, is this someone that I want to put in this work with? Because, I mean, this is something we're going to put in effort to every single day if we want to have these 30, 40, 50-year marriages. So.
Yeah, true. So do premarital counseling. Check. Anything else from a lady's perspective would you say? Besides be a bad bitch, because that's guaranteed. It's gonna happen.
Work on patience. I mean,
Work on my patience.
And by that, I mean, like, don't react to everything with the first thing that you feel. Stop and think about it before, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, girls can say some nasty things. Yes, think about what you're going to say before you say it. Think about why you're saying it. Think about, if I say this out loud, you can't take it back. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. And what does that do to your partner when you just like?
Because they'll never unhear it. And it'll always be in the back of their mind.
Okay. I'm nervous. I don't know if I can do it. As much as I talk, girl, please. Well, I mean, I know from experience, this mouth. So I have a podcast. Like I said, fuck I want to say, and nobody can stop me.
Maybe count to 10 before you speak.
Okay,
slowly.
I probably need to count slowly. 75. It'll be the next day before I ever say a word. What would you say, Dijon? What advice as someone who's much older than me and has much more? No, I'm just kidding. He's not that much older than me.
Well, I guess my piece of advice is if you find somebody that's worth it, take the risk. I mean, do it cautiously, but, you know, just continue to take the risk until they show that this ain't the person.
Yeah.
You know, but as long as they're showing that there's somebody that could potentially be your husband, and you just gotta put yourself out there. I mean, that's my best piece of advice.
Put myself out there.
That's right. And you know, you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, as you continue to date that person, and things just kind of continue to go the way. You know, nothing's perfect, but it's moving towards something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if it's moving like towards a serious future with that person, then you know you just gotta be open to taking that risk and taking the chance, because that could possibly be your husband. And if you continue to remain, you know, leave some of yourself closed off, you might miss out. And the next thing you know, you're 65 years old.
House full of goddamn cats. I don't even like cats.
And you just sitting here watching Golden Girls.
Yeah, trying to figure out where the fuck I went wrong. Yeah, I think that's sound advice. I think all of it is scary, but like you said, it has to be worth it. And that's what I think I've heard both of you say throughout our conversation is like, it was worth it. And when this happened, it was worth it. And, you know, it was worth it. So just making sure that it is worth it and working on my patience.
You're going to need a lot of it.
Yeah.
As a woman or a man.
Yeah.
Trust me. I feel like there's some days when we just don't get along at all. I'm like, man, let's try this again tomorrow.
Right.
Me? It's hard to live with me.
I didn't say it's hard to live with you. I said we got days where we both have disagreements.
Yeah.
I'm just like, all right, let's start all over.
Yeah. But I mean, you have to. I feel like that's something that you have to practice and work on and be intentional about. Like you have to say, like, okay, I know this happened. I don't feel like I was wrong, but I'm gonna apologize, or I'm just gonna take a beat and I'm just gonna step out and just like let our heads cool, and then we'll come back to it. And I feel like that's something that you have to like practice and something that you consistently have to do, because life happens. Different things come up, you know, things with your other kids, or things with Nehemiah, or things with, you know, their moms or your parents, or, you know, sometimes, or friends, like friends who try to like come in and like, oh, you should do this, that, and the third. Or like, you know, Desiree has friends that you don't necessarily care for. You got to like, all of these things come up in the midst of a relationship, and you got to figure out how to work through them. So I just want to say that this was so good. They were so nervous and they did so well. So when you guys listen to this episode on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube, get in the comments and tell Desiree and Dijon how well they did on this episode of Rhonda on the Rocks podcast. Thank you all so much for listening. This has been a great conversation. I have learned so much about myself. Let's see if I take Desiree's advice. Who knows? Hard to tell. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Now come sit down, come and let me holler at you. Come talk a real with a certified yapper. Conversations about the latest and the greatest in the world. We can talk about that man, or you can tell me about old girl. Got a secret, hey, don't lay it on me. You need a friend, I'll be your big homie. Let's take a sip and talk it out. Therapy without the couch. On the rocks is what you need. Come toast reality with me.